What you got? You got a toy? Here. Bring it here. What happened? All right. Sorry, I don't know why I did all that after I hit record. Murphy! Yes! Yeah. So, we dropped all of the treats. First of all, Murphy's doing super well. I've been doing lots of play with him to kind of build play mechanics to where having a little conflict with possession, like me coming in near his toy while he has possession of his toy. I want that to be a good thing, a safe place for him, a safe place for him. So I'll have him on leash and just kind of bring him into my space, come in, play with it, but I don't actually steal it, just so he's not kind of showing that resource guardingness of like, no, this is my toy, you can't have it. I'm gonna start that with me, and then once he's really confident with that relationship, then I'll have my guys kind of move around him just to see where he lies with that. He's been fine with dogs out in the yard, no problems there. The big focus this week has been establishing a marker system. I'm gonna put these away, we're not playing with them right now. So a marker is going to be a word that marks a moment in time that I like or dislike something that he does. And for him, that's going to announce the arrival of a reward or a punishment if it's a marker for unwanted behavior. So punishment is just going to be like a leash pressure, or consequence, I guess would be a better word. Not so much doing no's and things like that right now. We're worried more about reinforcement and what that picture looks like and how to respond to those words. I want to create the association between the two events of desired behavior and delivery of reinforcer. So that way there's that association created where when he hears that word, he reflexively responds to it and knows, hey, something good is going to come my way. So he has a couple of different markers that have different meanings as far as what I'm looking for when he hears them. And again, I want him responding to those markers so that anything else that's happening around him is neutral. So like if I move around, I don't want him following me because he's waiting for the marker, not me reaching into my pocket to get out treats or me walking away, things like that. I want him responding to this marker. So we have yes, which means I like what you did, come take something from me. And I want to deliver that in a way where yes, he's having to kind of like chase after it a little bit, just to up the value. So and even if we're in a situation where food's kind of like, I don't really care about food right now, I can up its value a little bit by adding in that element of play. Yes, to where he's having to chase after it and work a little harder to get it. So that little bit of a challenge typically makes it more exciting of an event. And then we have duration markers, which are going, I'm sorry, distraction for me. Then we have duration markers, which are going to be good and okay. So when I am asking him to go into a behavior, I've got excitement, sit. Good, I'm implying that I want him to keep doing that. Good, so I can pay him in behavior, good. To build a little bit of impulse control, teaching him how to settle into behavior, and then okay, is that terminal marker, meaning that the behavior is over. So in order for him to understand that he has to remain in behavior, we of course have to release him out of that behavior. If we're not actually taking the time to release him, then there's a little bit of wiggle room with the rules, right? He's kind of like, I don't really know if I have to sit here or not. Another really big one is going to be the word, hey, the word out, yes, which just means to give a resource space. So right now that's just me. I'm just outing him away. So I'll leave that your leash. So I'm saying out, and then stepping into a space and tossing food away so that he gets the muscle memory of I hear the word out, I turn and move away. Once he's a little bit better about that, the first couple of days he's kind of like, man, I'm mediocre with food. So we're really starting to build up his food drive. And it could just be, there's a little bit of conflict here because he's so motivated elsewhere. But now that he's kind of happily chasing after food, I'll start transitioning that over to toys. If he's sniffing something that he's not supposed to, When Deanna came into the room, he was running over to her and I said the word out, and he saw that he kind of moved and came back towards me, and I rewarded that moment. So things like that. So I can kind of call him away from jumping. I can, if I want to walk through a doorway, I can tell him out so he can give me space for me to open the door. Little tiny things like that, just giving him expectations of what I'm looking for. Murphy! Yes! Go bring your leash. I know, you're such a golden. That's the golden retriever in you. Yeah. All my goldens, they always bring me their leashes. It's very, very appreciative. Thank you. Oh, and it'll also, out, yes. It'll also be very helpful with his very strong desire to hold my hand with his mouth, which I do not like. So in those situations, what I do, because he has that little bit of like playful tongueness, instead of like pulling my arm away and making it almost seem like a toy, like activating it, I'm going to just go limp, make it really boring, and I'm going to say the word out. If he has his collar, then I'm just going to pull on that to kind of a little bit activate his gag reflex. I'm not choking him or anything like that, just kind of putting it in a way it's on his neck. And I'm just going to be really calm. So essentially I'm kind of helping him lose interest. If we're moving around and doing all of that, it's a toy, it's a game for him. If it goes limp, then it's less exciting. So it's a little bit of sacrificing our arm for a second so that he's like, oh, it's not nearly as exciting as I thought it was going to be. Hey, let's see if I can. I don't do it to you anymore, Miss Brittany. But too much respect. Sit. Good. Yeah, that's where we are right now. We've been mostly in the training room. Okay. Just because he's so easily motivated elsewhere, he's very easily distracted. We're gonna start today. This is Thursday, depending on when I send this out. But right now, this video is Thursday morning. We're gonna start doing stuff outside today, kind of adding in minimal distractions. I'm gonna work at his level because he's such a happy-go-lucky guy. He just wants to be a part of, everything going on around him. So I want to make sure that I'm setting him up for success and making sure that the foundation is there of understanding before I'm like, let's do all of the things and everything crumbling. So if you have any questions, go ahead and shoot me an email and ask, or you call, whatever is easiest for you. All right.